Well, hey everybody. It's so good to see you all tonight. Welcome to actually our first official Zoom team meeting for Restoring Wholeness. This is really exciting. And we're
Yay.
and we're a small group tonight, but that's okay. We decided we record it because we know life happens, and I think that happened for several of you tonight. So what we're going to try to do is keep things as succinct as possible. We've got two really great things that we want to cover tonight. Kristen is going to start off with explaining what is this 3-day pink drink challenge, what it's all about, what to expect from it, and how well it's been working and why. And then after that, I'll follow up with just taking you through a brief rundown of our Restoring Wholeness onboarding system. So when you get someone new started with Plexus, what the system's all about, why it's so important, and just give you some really easy tips for how to best use it. Okay, so Kristen, I'm going to turn over to you first.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that this next week is my 2-year, we call it a Plexiversary. Plexiversary, that's what we call it. And so I've been sharing, not during that whole time, but I've been sharing for probably a good 20 months of that time. And during this time of sharing, in the beginning, which a lot of you are in this beginning stage of sharing, I was just getting to know the products, and I was really letting Susie guide me through how to share and how to do that in a very systematic way. That is what the 3-day challenge is. It's a very systematic way to share, and it's easy because the work is already being done for you. And so it's very easy to plug people into next steps. We tell you exactly what to say. And the work for you is really in just mailing out the samples, or for some of you, we've even offered that we will help you with the mailing out the samples part. Especially if you're just starting out, we really want to be able to help you with that, and want to be able to help you get going on mailing out those samples. And you are also going to be able to really get the verbiage you need to be able to talk to these people and get everything you need with graphics and things like that. And it's really not overwhelming. It's a very step-by-step process. So I mentioned this because when I started out with Plexus, I just felt like, oh boy, there's a lot of little things I can do here. And what do I want to choose to do? Do I want to share on my own? Do I want to be a part of this event? Do I want to? And there was this option for a kit that people could buy online, but they had to invest $20, and we had to buy it ahead of time ourselves and wait for it to come in the mail and then hand it out to people. Well, this is even better because this is a small investment. This is a $5 investment for people, and it really just covers the samples and the shipping, you guys. And the reason why we do the $5 investment on this 3-day challenge is because we want some buy-in. It makes people show up into the Facebook chat. It helps them get there and be ready to read what we've provided. We have found that when they don't have buy-in and they just get the samples, they'll get to it when they get to it, and it makes the following up process a little bit harder. Okay, so now, some of you I've talked to before have chosen to, certain people that you're really close to, like a family member or whatever, you don't want to charge them. That is really up to you. But I am just going to tell you, there is a benefit to making sure that people buy in with the $5, and that's what it is. It's the fact that they're invested and they know that they've paid for it, and so they want to show up. Okay, so it's $5 for 3 samples. Now, people have done the samples in different ways. Some people have a variety of samples, but really you just need to provide them 3 samples, okay? It doesn't matter if it's the microbiome activating, if it's the hunger control, if it's what flavor, it doesn't matter. Just 3 samples is good. So once we do that, they will get those in the mail ahead of time. But before that even takes place, this week, right now, tomorrow, most of us that are planning to be a part of our next one, which starts next week, we're going to post something on Facebook tomorrow. I did my post today just because I know I'm a busy mama and I'm not going to be able to get to it tomorrow. But we're going to post something on Facebook that says, next week, I am going to do this challenge. Who wants in? and you can post a picture of you with the pink drink. That's what I did. Or 3 sticks of the pink drink, and you leave it as is. If nobody comments, that's okay, because that picture is there. So when you message people, you have something to refer to. The next step is you're going to pick 10 people. We want to get to 3 to 10, but try to pick 10. We try to go bigger, because usually if you message 10, 1 to 3 people are going to say yes for something like this. Okay. So if you say 10 people, family, friends, relatives, coworkers, thinking about them, you're going to go in and you're going to just use a message that we give you. It's going to say something like this. Hey, did you see my message yesterday on Facebook or today on Facebook? I just wanted to invite you to this challenge that I'm doing. And then it says what it costs, what it is. And then you just leave a question. What do you think? And you just wait. It might take them a day to get back to you. It might take them it might get back to you like this. And if they say yes, then we want them to Venmo you the money, or you figure out that transaction exchange. And then you have to figure out how you're going to get the samples to them. If they're in your neighborhood, if they go to your church, if they're in your school, you can pass them off and save yourself some shipping. But I've also will provide you with something you can write in a little card to tell them, just to make it personal if you would like. If you just want to talk to them and hand them off 3 samples, that's up to you. But that's how we do it. And then Tuesday, you tell them on Monday, they're going to get put into a Facebook group, and Tuesday is when the challenge starts. And so when we do these challenges, they go run Tuesday through Thursday is what it is. And on those days, each day, there's going to be information that comes out somewhere in the morning, afternoon. And then there's going to be some sort of prize winner, that reflection in the evening around 8 o'clock in the evening. Okay, so that's how it's run. Why do we start doing these? Well, we started doing them, 1, because it builds community. 2, because while people are sipping on these drinks, not just for one day, you know when they're sipping on them, the Tuesday through Thursday. So you know when to talk to them in your chat. And so you are going to get prompts from me or Susie or whoever's running the event. And you're going to be able to have some sort of verbiage to say to them, hey, what did you think today of the taste? I can't wait to hear about it. And let them respond to you. They're going to open up to you. They're going to say things like, oh, I really like the taste. I didn't even realize it, but I didn't grab a cookie out of the lounge today when I was at my job. Or they're going to say, like my mom had this with a gal, I drank my pink drink and then I had my coffee and I had no heartburn afterwards. They're going to say different things like that. And you're going to be able to, say, wow, that is amazing. And if you don't know what to say after that, that's when you come to Susie or I and say, is there scientific evidence about why this happened? And we'll give you some verbiage so you sound smart. And then that will encourage them to keep going and keep doing this, because they might want to try. They're going to want to keep trying the next day to see if this happens again. And if they say something like nothing happened, because that did happen to me one day, and I'll say that's okay, because really this is something that we're just tasting to see if we like. It's just something that isn't an overnight fix, but it is a tool that we're going to be learning more about. And I can't wait for you to read the information and tell me what you think. So we have responses, and we give you those responses in what we call our Work It chat. So you know how to respond to these people if they say a negative thing or a positive thing, okay? So you're very well equipped. It's very easy to do. And these people are excited because they're winning prizes at the end of the day. They're learning as they go. And then on the very last day, we have a video where we show them the different products. And then we offer usually $10 off their membership. And that is something we have to agree to as a group, because that is something that's usually something most of us feel like we can afford. But what that is basically is Venmoing them back their $5 and putting in another $5. And to your cost, that actually doesn't cost you too much because you're going to get a bonus when they sign up. That's going to be a lot bigger than that. And so most of us at the lowest package, welcome pack they sign up is the $20 bonus, all the way up to you could get a $60 bonus, depending on what they sign up for. So it's not much cost to you, but it's an incentive for them to jump on board in the 72-hour window following the event. Okay. Now, what if they don't sign up at all? You've just gained a whole ton of information that you would have never known if they didn't do this challenge in the first place. I still have people from my very first challenge that haven't signed up, but I'm following up with them still. And they're telling me that they haven't had the time to read through the literature yet, that they really still want to talk more about this in person, but it's just not the right time right now. And so I give them their time and their space, but I'm so glad they were part of the challenge. And I just scheduled them out to talk to them more later, because everybody's a different kind of learner. Some people want to be in it for a while and then they need time to digest the information and poke around themselves. Some people are in these challenges to really learn, get excited and buy right away. Everybody's different. So, but I will say the majority of the people, when they commit to something like this, they know and they've been watching and they've been thinking about it. Either they've been watching somebody else who sells Plexus and now they see that you're promoting it and they trust you and they want to get it from you, and that's why they're in this challenge. Or they could be an impulsive buyer. And so if they are an impulsive buyer, we love the fact that we're chatting with them behind the scenes, because we're trying to qualify them. We're trying to teach them that this is a natural healing process, that this isn't going to be an overnight fix. So we don't want to quickly get them to buy just to buy. We're trying to have conversation, and we'll encourage you to set them up in a 3-way chat and just get some more information out of them to make sure we understand they really are ready for this kind of a commitment. Because truthfully, we don't want to onboard people who really aren't ready, because it will be a lot of work, which Susie's going to talk about in a minute, because we want to do this with full integrity, and we want to do this and really take care of our people. We don't want to sign people just for a quick dollar and then drop them off. So we really take this seriously, and we really want to make sure that once our people sign up, that they know we're going to care for them, and they know that we're going to continue to teach them about what they're doing to their bodies, and that we're going to cheer them on every step of the way. So with that, Susie, I am going to let you talk about our Restoring Wholeness onboarding system, and I'm going to share my screen so that she can show you what that looks like. This is found, share my screen so you can see how I'm getting to it, you guys. So right now in Facebook, and I'm going to groups. And if we haven't invited you to this group and you would like to be invited, please let us know. I'm just going to search for Restoring Wholeness. It'll pop up. It's right here, onboarding system. It's got a nice, pretty sunflower. Once I go to that, system was created for you in mind. For me, I still use this every single day to people. You might even notice I've used these messages on you as my people, but these are meant to be a message that can be tweaked. So Susie, I will scroll for you. You'll have to tell me when to scroll, but I'm controlling the mouse, but here it is.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bear with me. I've got family members who are not used to me being live on here. So they're checking in with me. But anyhow, so yeah, this is a group. Started this several years ago, actually. And my intention was a couple of things, really desiring to make getting someone started on Plexus very seamless and very easy. I wanted to take the thought out of it for people, because I remember when I first began, I was somewhat intimidated with trying to support someone and really knowing what what I should be checking in with them about, what questions should I be asking, that type of thing. So it really came out of that space is just a desire for myself to be able to support people better. And then as I started having people join me on this journey, I really wanted to make that easy for other people so that it wasn't intimidating to get someone started on these products. Um, and really wanting us to give those people the same kind of support that we got at the very beginning. So, since that time, Chris and I have worked really closely together. We've kind of revamped this actually fairly recently, and just like anything else in life, it's always a work in progress as we're learning new things, you guys. Because even myself, 6 years into this journey, I'm still learning things. But that's the beauty of what we do is we can learn as we earn, we learn as we go, and the more people that we support the better we get at that. And so we will be making some really minor changes here probably in the next few weeks. So if things look a hair different when you get back in here, if you start to use it, you'll know why. But it will largely look the same. So the other primary reason that we have this onboarding system is really to improve retention of the people that we get started on these products. And that's not coming from a selfish place of, just wanting to keep our paycheck going. It's coming from a place of really desiring to see people succeed on these products. Because as we all know, we're not going to be successful with the products if we don't use them consistently and we don't use them long enough, right? So, a big part of helping people be successful on this journey is giving them individualized support. It's just part of providing really good customer service, and like Kristen said, it's about practicing integrity. We are all about seeing people experience freedom in their health. It's exactly why I named my team Restoring Wholeness. That is a passion to see people really have wholeness in their health in just all areas of their life. So that's a little bit of background information as why we even have this in place. And you will find that if you take just the few minutes out of your day that it's going to take to really walk someone through this journey, you're going to see them be so much more successful in the long run, not only with how they're feeling, but just, in their whole experience in general. And they're going to be much more apt to be able to share their experience with other people because of having such a positive experience as well. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to just gradually walk you through the system. And you're going to see right here at the top, Kristen has already kind of scrolled here where we've got all
Yeah.
of these getting started guides. Because as you know, there's so many welcome packs that people can get started with. So there is literally a getting started guide for every welcome pack. Later down the road, you're going to see where and when we actually send one of these guides to someone. But this is the resource that you would refer back to in order to be able to find your guide when you're prompted to do that. Okay. So we can go ahead and close out of there a minute. And I'm going to have Kristen scroll down just a little bit. And we're going to go to basically where we get started.
Of course, it's freezing on me.
No problem. If you need to refresh it, that's totally fine.
I think I'm going to need to.
You know
What I
what?
love about this, though, that I will say is that it's very easy to copy and paste right off your phone.
Yeah.
So, when someone says, I need my get starting guide, or they're telling you that they need to know how to onboard their supplements, it's very easy to grab it right out of here from your phone. So,
Yeah.
of course, it's not letting me go down to it.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons we did it on Facebook too, because the beauty of this job is that it's mobile. And so I wanted a mobile resource that you can have access to no matter where you are. Even if you're seeing your kids pickup line and someone gets their package, you can quick hop in here and send them the message that they need. So it's super easy to use. So we'll let that refresh a minute. But while that's happening, one statistic that Kristen and I learned about at Gold School this summer was the timeline in which people potentially start thinking about, okay, is this for me or is this not for me? And a lot of times people start making the decision, was it like 45 days before they even potentially quit? That was really eye-opening. And so it just shows the importance of their experience with Plexus literally starts the moment that you even begin messaging them, even before they sign up with you, their whole experience. So it's just, that was really eye-opening to me to recognize there's importance at every stage of this journey. And it really is our team's culture and our desire that we just want people to have an amazing experience, like from the time that they start contact with us all the way through. So anyway, okay, it looks like we are to the beginning of this group, and you're going to notice that the first two, I believe it's the first two posts are in this greenish color. Do you see that background color? Oh, three, sorry. The first three are in that greenish
Three posts,
color.
and then they
And
turn pink.
yes. So what that means is these are all messages that you're sending prior to someone even getting their package. Does that make sense? So these are all things that are going to happen like before their official journey starts. Then once we're in those pink messages, that's where they've actually got their package in hand. And that's where all of the extra education and working them through that process of getting onto their products begins. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, the very first message is called Join Day. Ideally, we like to send this message the very day that someone signs up with you. Now, if it happens late at night, there's nothing wrong with sending it the next day, but we like to try to send it either in the first day, max the day after that someone joins. It's just a matter of introducing them to this group, letting them know, who your sponsor is, because as you know, we like to coach people in the three-way messenger chat so that they have extra support in case one of you happens to be on vacation. They've always got someone that they can access. And so we really like to review, what their health goals are, a little bit about their health history. Part of it is it's a really helpful thing for you to be able to refer back to down the
Mm-hmm.
road if you've forgotten to take some notes, or maybe they got misplaced. You got at least something that you can go back to. Okay. So
And
each
here
post, oh, go ahead.
here are some important tips. We always add them to the Be Free page, which is our team page. It also talks about the Pink Power page. That's our regional page. So the people that choose to share are the people that I have been adding to that page. So some of you who have chosen to share and want to be included on those Monday night calls, I have chosen to put you in those, but I have only put those that are, most of you that are on this call have been a part of that. But you want to do a welcome post in there shortly after the person accepts. And then we tag them in a little guide section that says where to start, to let them know, because there's a cool guide section that that tells them all about the health, like different health benefits on the team page.
Yeah. Yeah. Good points there. So Kristen, could you scroll back up just a little bit to the
Yeah.
comment that happens right above that message?
Yep.
Thank you so much. Okay. So Caesar, can you click on view one more comment there? Thank you. Okay.
Oh
So
yeah.
in every one of these posts, what you're going to see, there's going to be one comment first that you can expand. Essentially, this tells you what to do with every message. So if you can't remember what you're supposed to do on that day, this will give you step-by-step directions for what to do. So this is kind of what Kristen was talking about. You set up your three-way messenger chat, talks about how to label it. You add your welcome message below, the one that we just referenced here shortly ago. And then, of course, adding them to the team pages that fit their circumstance. And then, of course, writing that welcome message and tagging them in that first post, the guides. Okay. So we'll be changing a little bit of that verbiage because some of it's been updated in the team page. So again, that's where some of our editing needs are still needing to happen. But that's basically what you can expect in each post. So day two, again, what to expect. We generally try to send this then immediately the day after we would send that join day message. And this just includes some helpful education. Most people do get started on the triplex. So the video fits most people's needs. But one thing I wanted to mention is don't be afraid to edit these messages to make it fit your person, right? We still want to be very individualized. All of these messages are just meant to be a framework and a guide for you. They fit most people, but they're not going to fit everybody. So it's going to be really important you take the time to read through each message thoroughly. Make sure it actually applies to your person, because you might get someone who's only starting with a couple of products at times. So it's just really important to keep that in mind to make sure that's really fitting what you're saying to the person based on their individual journey. Okay. So every once in a while, you're going to see there's going to be a little attachment that you can include in someone's message. Again, if you follow those step-by-step directions, it's going to tell you exactly what you should send, as long as it applies to that particular person. Okay.
This
Now,
is an updated graphic with Pivotal since Pivotal came out in July. So we've been
Mhm.
using this graphic versus this graphic. So sometimes, we usually will verbally explain what a VIP membership includes, or we'll give that in pricing to people ahead of time, but it's nice to go over it again after they've signed up so they
Mhm.
know what their membership includes.
Yeah, exactly. And then before I go a whole lot farther, one thing I wanted to mention too is, okay, how do you even keep track of when to send what message to your person? So what I generally recommend is that you have some type of planner, whether it's a small desk planner, or you can even just do this in the calendar in your phone, whatever you reference most regularly. And so what you would do is you would make a note to yourself. Let's say, okay, so today is Tuesday. So Tuesday, October, what is even October 11? I don't even know what the date is. Tuesday,
11.
October 11, send join day message. And then you can put a check mark once you have done that. Okay. Then you would immediately write on your calendar on Wednesday, the 12th, send day two message. Okay. Once you've completed that, you can put a check mark next to that. Once you've completed that, you're like, oh yeah, now I better day 5 or 6 after they've ordered, I better mark that on my calendar to make sure I'm checking to see if their package arrived or not. We ask them to keep us in the loop too, but some people just forget. So as a courtesy to people, I like to help them track their package, kind of give them a heads up of when it's coming. And so again, I would just note that on my calendar. So generally how I do it is every time I've completed the next scheduled check-in, I will go to my calendar and immediately note the very next time that I'm scheduled to check in with them. And I used to do it all up front, but then I recognized not everyone follows our schedule and starts with their starts with their package the day they get it. And sometimes there's a few day delay. So if you've taken the time to write all of those dates in your calendar, you might have to go back and erase and edit them. So that's why I just, every time I've sent a message, then I will go ahead and put the next date in my calendar. And it's a very systematic, very easy process and way to stay organized. Okay. So I hope that
And
makes sense.
something I will definitely add here is if somebody starts on the reset, because this is new too, if somebody starts on the reset, I don't count day one until they're done with the reset. So I don't know how you've done that, Susie, but I just want it's I will still follow up with them because I'm following up with them during the reset to see how they're doing. So it's not that I'm not following up with them. But as far as like schedule goes, I'll still start day one and I'll keep following up with them a little bit later in their progress too. So my official day one is when they're done with reset, but during reset, I am following up with them 1 or 2 times during reset, just as an added bonus to say, how are you feeling? How is it going? And so those are the tweaks we want to make in this, is to give you some tips for reset if people join in there, and we can give you some of those verbiages coming up soon.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a really good point. So it all depends on what people decide. Some people like to start with their products and get a solid foundation with their products for a full month and then they do the reset. Other people like to jump right into the reset. So again, that's where the individualization comes in. And if you
Mm-hmm.
ever have any doubts, you can always reach out to Kristen and I, because we're more than happy to help you with that. Okay. But here's what she was talking about, the day one official start message. We just love to celebrate that with people. It is really, really exciting. And one change that you will see coming in here soon is we used to wait a little bit longer to do someone's welcome call. We're going to change that. We're going to actually probably offer that here on the most likely on this first day while people are really excited. And recognizing they probably do have questions that they want to ask. And it just gives you a really amazing opportunity to vision cast with them about, what this can do for their own health, what it could maybe do for their finances, what it could do for other people in their life. So, the welcome calls are so much fun. And we've also got a really pretty systematic system that you can work from that as well. And then you'll have Kristen and I's help on those because most likely either one of us or one of your sponsors who are on this call. All right. So as you can see, you just work your way down especially in the very beginning of people's journey, the check-ins are quite a bit more frequent. And that's because quite a bit can happen in those first, I mean, even 7 to 10 days, whether people start to hit a little bit of detox pretty early on, or maybe their system's just not used to the new ingredients and they're expecting or they're experiencing some things they did not expect. We just want to make sure that we are checking with them frequently because you'll find that as you go along, people's trust in you does build and they'll be willing to share more and more with you. But at the beginning, especially if it's someone you don't know super well, it can be a little bit vulnerable to talk about what's happening in the bathroom and different things. And so we really take it upon ourselves to be the one to reach out, ask specific questions that really opens those doors of communication. Okay. So we can keep on scrolling down and you're going to see then the longer we get into someone's journey, the little bit more spaced out their messages become. Okay.
I do want to reference, sorry, I'm trying to get this. Okay, here. I do want to reference, sometimes we have these video clips in here. Don't dismiss those. They're really important to educate people. I mean, you saw one on the second day they joined. There's also one that will be embedded in here in 5 weeks. That is one of our good sideline friends, Sarah Howarda, who actually, if they're not joined on the team page, they will not be able to connect to it. So it's nice that that's kind of intentionally done a little bit too, so that we get them connected to the team page, because we really want people connected in there so we can link different things in that team page that they can refer to, especially if we start troubleshooting and we can say, oh, did you check out that guide? Or things in there that we can reference for them. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then we need to look through those guides together, and that's okay. That's something we can spend time on.
Yeah, for sure. So you can see that a lot of these scheduled check-ins have some specific topics. Like on day 18, we talk a lot about detox and candida, because for a lot of people, they're starting to experience their first round of detox right around that timeline. It's super interesting that you'll see that's quite average for people. And so we really feel that one of the best ways that we can help people be successful on this journey is by educating them as to what is going on in their body. When we are going through some tough things, maybe some bumps in the road, it's much easier for us to stay the course and to kind of push through that hard when we understand why it's happening. If we recognize, oh, you know what, this might be hard now, but oops, excuse me a minute, my dog just walked in. If we can understand, thank you. If we can understand the why behind what's happening, recognizing that there's something really good waiting on the other side, it's a lot easier to push through that. So we focus pretty heavily on education on our team, wanting to build people's belief in what they're doing for themselves and their health. And it's just a really important part about what we do. So that's why you'll see some of these really specific topics from time to time, trying to make sure that we hit them usually around the timeline which people are going to be encountering some of these things. So the order in which we have done things in here is extremely purposeful, and that has just come from over 6 years of supporting people and just seeing what people often need and when. Okay, Kristen, any additional thoughts that you have that you would like to share?
No, I don't think so. I think you're rolling right along. I think that you've hit up a lot of things. I think that what's nice about this is, if for some reason you need to come back to a topic, you can go back in the weeks too. Don't feel like you can't hit it up again. Like maybe for example, we're going to come to this next slide that's going to talk about adjusting their subscription. We have a video on how to work their auto ship, which also will include how to redeem their perks points. Well, knowing that video is there, I know that I often go to week 3 in the Restoring Wholeness, and sometimes I'm going to it when somebody's on week 8. So don't feel like you can't refer back to old things. You'll get used to it as you onboard more people, where those resources are at. And also, I would say, paper off because we have 12 weeks of this, don't taper off at week 8 because you think people are good. Like, follow up, keep following up with people, and we'll get into a few more of these, just to show you, because we do stretch it out farther between, but we still afterwards, and you'll find that I've done this with you guys as well, we still follow up with people once a month, even after, because we want them to know we're still cheering them on with their health goals. We don't just drop them just because we don't have specific things to talk about as much anymore. But we still usually ask the 3 main questions, which are, what products are you taking right now? How much water are you drinking? And how is it going with those goals that you've set out for yourself? And because we care about them. So
Yeah. Yeah, very good point. So yeah, as you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see this takes you basically through the first 3 months of someone's journey. And those really are some of the most instrumental months. If we are forgetting to check in with people for whatever reason, it is not uncommon that someone would quit on themselves, especially if they run into some bumps along the road. Because if they don't understand what's going on or why it's happening, and they're wondering, well, why am I maybe feeling a little bit worse right now? And I thought I was going to feel better. It's way easier for them to throw in the towel if they are not talking with anybody. Okay. I also want to preface this with, there are going to be people in your journey who you can send all of these wonderful resources to, and they might not ever respond. Okay, it happens because some people are more private than others. But I think what it comes down to is, at the end of the day, whether they stick with their products or whether sadly they do end up quitting at some point, you have known that you have done everything that you could to support that person. And you can move forward in good conscience, knowing that you practice good integrity and good customer service to show them that you really care. And that's really what this is all about, is we just want to know that we have done the very best job that we could,
yep,
ultimately with the goal of helping people be as successful as possible. Okay. So beyond the 12 weeks, like Kristen said, there's a variety of ways that you can follow up with people. You can follow up more frequently than once a month. If someone might have a little bit higher needs, and you can of course follow up whatever frequency you think is going to be appropriate for them. But on average, once we get to that end of that 3rd month, roughly once a month is sufficient for most people. Can invite them to events. There's even ideas right there. You can invite them to events. You can send them an
mm-hmm.
article or a testimony that made you think of them. Just lots and lots of things that you can do to really let people know that you're still there. Okay. So that
Yep,
is the majority really of what we have for you this evening. I'm so grateful for the time that you're taking just to learn about this. It really is a gift and a privilege to be able to support people this way. And when you get those reports of testimonies of things happening in their health, there's not a much better feeling. Those are some of my very favorite updates and messages that I get. So Kristen, you have any other closing thoughts you want to add before we sign off for tonight?
no, I just am excited for all of you to start onboarding more people or utilizing the system and feeling more confident about how to utilize the system. And also, if you have questions too about what we previously talked about with the 3-day challenge, please don't hesitate to reach out because we want to help you with that too. Okay.
For sure. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great evening. Talk to you soon.
All right.